Let's get an update on Julius Randle's right shoulder dislocation with New York Post NBA insider Stefan Bondy. Stefan, you've been working your sources. You've got your ear to the streets. All of New York right now is on pins and needles, waiting for some Randle news. So can you give us an update on the injury and how long that people are saying that he could be out?
So I think the latest development is pretty positive. There was obviously concern that this would be season-ending surgery and it would require season-ending surgery. And when you saw his arm get dislodged from his shoulder, that was certainly the fear. But so far, the tests have been positive towards not requiring surgery. Now, a source said it probably looks like it's probably safe to say right now that he will not need surgery, that the timeline will be a matter of weeks, not months, but that's not conclusive yet. So they're still waiting for a couple more things to put out an official recovery timeline. But all indications now are that he won't have to have surgery, and that would put him back, at least during the season at some point, bring him back on the roster.
It's like the movie Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance he can get back up in this roster.
There's a good chance.
Which a lot of people are excited about hearing that right now. But how are the Knicks going to adjust? This guy's averaging 24 and 9 on the season. He's been absolutely balling out of control. How does Tibbs and this group, how do they adjust going forward?
Well, we just talked to Donte DiVincenzo and Josh Hart about that. And they're like, they all said the same. They both said the same thing, which is, you don't do it by yourself. You don't replace 25 and 9 or 25 and 10 or whatever Julius is averaging with one person. And they don't really, as far as natural power forwards, they don't really have one on the roster other than Julius Randle. Now, Josh Hart has played that role before, and he's made it known, listen, I'm not a power forward. I'm 6'4". If I can get 50 pounds of muscle in between now and game time tonight in Charlotte, then maybe I can make up for it, but I'm not going to do that. So I think it's going to be a collective effort. I think you're going to see OG Anunoby get pushed to the floor sometimes. As far as the change of the starting lineup, they're obviously going to have to make one. And my guess will either be Josh Hart elevating into that starting spot or Quentin Grimes.
Do you think that small ball type lineup, do you think that's sustainable for what they have going on right now?
I think sustainable is questionable. I think it will work out defensively, certainly. I think the big issue when you look at that lineup is how they're going to put up points. Jalen Brunson has been tremendous, but part of the reason he's been that good is because Julius Randle attracts a lot of the attention. And now the defenses are going to be just solely focused on Jalen Brunson. So it's going to be up to a lot of different people, OG Anunoby, Donte DiVincenzo, to pick up the slack and kind of take a lot of the heat away from Jalen Brunson, who's going to be feeling it now without Julius Randle there in the lineup.
All eyes have been on Leon Rose and if he was going to bring in another star, another player to pair with the current Knicks roster. Now that Julius Randle was going down and could possibly miss the entire rest of the season, I know that there's hope that he'll be back. Does this now affect what they're going to do at the trade deadline? Do they have to be aggressive now?
No, I don't think it changes because of the positive news that we talked about before, that they, at least right now, they expect for him to come back, Julius Randle. So I don't think it's going to change their posture at the trade deadline. Listen, they came into the season hoping that maybe one of these superstar players from another team will become disgruntled or get put on the trade block. A player of that type of caliber has not emerged in the trade market during the season. So I think that hasn't changed in terms of their approach. They're still looking at the offseason as a time to really make that big, huge blockbuster move. And during the season right now, ahead of the trade deadline on February 8th, they're really looking for more depth, especially at guard and maybe another big man. I think that this injury and this news doesn't really change that approach.
It's going to be interesting to see what Leon Rose and crew does. But Stefan Bondy, thanks for keeping us updated. And we're going to be looking at the tweets, everything going forward, trying to figure out how long Julius Randle is going to be officially out. Thanks for hopping on with us, man.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.